Sorry. I'm thinking of that song, The Midas Touch. Do you know that? Like, okay, it's like, got the Midas touch. Everything I touch turns to gold. Anyway, but I want to say, I got the Midas edge. Everything I touch turns to shit. Anyway, that's what I want to do. Woo, that's why the kids love me, because of my relevant musical taste and references. Today I needed to brainstorm some button-up upcycling, some button-up cycling ideas, because I am going to be teaching a 3-day upcycling workshop for teens at the Portland Fashion Institute. I wanted to brainstorm a few ideas so I appear confident in front of the teens and they don't mute me and as a collective take over the class. I think I'm supposed to have like a little bit of an introduction, but I don't want to be like TED Talk, PowerPoint, this is what upcycling is, like boring, or give my credentials because there are none. I think I might start with the 4 tenets of upcycling. This is something I've made up. I was reading a book about sculpture, as you do when you're urbane, and it said, this is something I thought could apply to upcycling. It said with sculpture, and this book is like, who knows if this person might be a quack, is what I'm saying, but I thought it was interesting. They said, here are the 4, I'm saying tenets, 4 ways to approach it: addition, subtraction, substitution, manipulation. I thought that was interesting because with a button up, for example, you could add, I'm going to add a trim. You could subtract something. So we're like, I'm going to cut off the sleeves. You could substitute something like, I'm actually going to take the sleeve from this shirt and substitute this one, which we've done in a video, I think. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. So look for that video. Or manipulation, you're like, okay, I'm going to get some elastic and I'm going to kind of make a smocked, kind of texture thing. So that's what I'm going to present to them. And not to say you can't do other things, of course, but I think that's kind of a good place to start. Just to be like, okay, here's where your mind could go of like, should I add an element, subtract an element, substitute an element, or manipulate? Or should I manipulate? I know, there's no way to not be like, should I become the villain of the class and form alliances? I just gathered some button-ups that I have thrifted lately. And I've got some random bits from other button-up reworks, some sleeves, some pockets, and I don't know why this amuses me, some little baby button-ups for your baby business meetings. I don't know, just like, you're going to like the New York Stock Exchange and you're like, is there a gavel or is there a bell? You ring a bell or something. You got a little baby Bluetooth. Does anyone do Bluetooth anymore? I don't know, but yeah, I just like to think like a baby businessman, businesswoman, business person. It amuses me. I don't really know where to start with this, so yeah, let's just dig in. Okay. The reason I'm making these, I should say, is I want to go to the classroom with examples. So that way I'm not just like, here's a QR code to a Pinterest board that I've created and here's some ideas. I was like, I thought it would be better with some tactile samples. So, oh yeah, I guess I could go into what their sewing list is. I don't know why I was really trying to get into the nitty gritty. I'm like, how much will they know? Which there's no way that any of us can know that in advance. There's 12 of, I'm not saying any of this in any order that is helpful. I'm sorry. There will be 12 students, ages, 13 to 17 maybe. And their sewing kit will contain, this is helpful for me to know. Maybe no one else needs to know this, but 1 button-up dress shirt plus extra fabric scraps. Pins, measuring tape, seam gauge. I never really use a seam gauge.
What is this?
It's like that little, it looks like a T-square. It's like that little metal It's so you can be like, oh, this is 3/8 of an inch. I guess at this point we can like, because we're
Oh.
so old now, we're old hats, we can eyeball like, oh, that's
Yeah,
half inch, whatever.
Yeah.
I know I never
I don't
use it.
think I've ever used
I think it
one.
was something it was in my mom's sewing room, and so I think of it as being 80s, like in a cute, wholesome way. I'm not saying it's not
It's
helpful.
something I've always seen and always wondered, what is that?
And for some
What is
reason,
it
when I
for?
look at it, like because it's hard for me to actually gauge where the measurement is because it's like the piece of plastic itself is
Right.
like a quarter of an inch. Anyways, I find them a bit confusing, but I'm sure it helps a lot of people. Pin cushion, so hand sewing needles, shears, paper scissors, okay, small scissors or nippers. We call them little snippies around here.
Nippers.
Nippers.
I don't think I like that one.
Do I like it or do I absolutely loathe it? Nippers. Sorry.
It sounds like a cutesy way to say like
nipples. Yeah, and I don't want to think about those two things at the same time. So we'll just move on. Yeah, I know. That's why it shouldn't be called nippers. Sorry. Anyway.
That is our moist.
Yeah, exactly. And we shall never say it again. Except in the class, everyone's gonna be saying it like crazy.
They will cringe.
And I'm gonna be shuddering. Chalk pencil, friction pen, which I think is like a tailor's kind of pen.
Like irons off.
Yeah, which I need to get that because I get tailor's chalk that's like from olden times, and it's like a triangle, and like I'll mark on something, I'm like, well, I don't know if that'll wash. Like those steam off. I think this is like, will it even wash off? I don't know. It's kind of just on there.
I have some tailor's chalk that does not.
It's just like, well, good luck.
Fully stained my garment. I was like, well, I guess I'm tucking this shirt in forever.
Yeah, I was like, what's the point of that? I guess maybe an actual tailor is like, well, I know not to use that except on, something that's gonna be hidden. Well, anyway. Seam ripper, 2 spools of Gutermann thread. I love saying Gutermann. Sorry. Anyways, Gutermann. Cute notions bag. Wait, so that is part of it, I guess, is that it's a cute notions bag. Okay. Yeah.
Camera's shaking.
Sorry. I'm like, and they just threw in like a gift with purchase. Like, here's a little cute bag.
Did you write this list?
No, no, this is given to me. Sorry, no, I didn't. This wasn't me like, here are my demands, and I slide it across the table, and I'm like, everyone has to have that. That's one condition. No, I was like, because I'm just walking the. Yeah, I don't know why. It's great. I wanted to show up with a few examples of my 4. I'm touching the mic. My 4 tenets of upcycling. Again, TED Talk. I'm like, it's behind me. The ones I have already made, because the others have obviously sold. No, it's just I'm lazy and I make things to order. The one I have, I don't know if this was ever ended up being featured in any video. At this point, everything's kind of like in the ether, out of order. The Patreon's in the mix, so everything's a little.
So it may be on video.
And maybe it may be coming up, and maybe be in the dustbin history. Like, right, that's a bad video.
We don't know.
In a previous video that. Yeah, upcycle roulette. I think I kind of went into the vinyl window thing, so I was like, this way it's kind of a substitution. So I'm not going to bring vinyl. I doubt they're going to have clear vinyl with them anyway, but I will show them at least. Like you can add in, you can like do an inlay. So this was just to show you can use different fabrics, do an inlay. I have a knit cuff here. I might have. Sorry, I keep being like. I'm trying to remember the old days. Did I do a video or? I don't think I did. Okay. I cut off the regular cuff and I did a sort of sweater ribbed cuff. So I'll bet that's a possibility. Substituting or kind of manipulating, covering up the old pocket. So I'll have this one on hand for them. This one, I was kind of lazy. I literally just like sewed a flap of fabric. But I'm like, you can do that. There you go. I don't know if I'm holding this up in a helpful way. Same cuff idea. This was for the Modern Myth collection, collaboration I did. I took away the pocket there, and then I added these lower pockets. I don't know what you call those, hip pockets. Those will be 2 examples. I removed the cuff, and then I'll just have some like free floating ideas. Cut off the cuff and finished it. That's all I've got so far. I need more. So I will be kind of brainstorming some ideas. I might do some light tutorial work, but I assume any nitty-gritty for button-up upcycles will be on the Patreon probably from now on. So look for that. If you're like, I want to know how to do said upcycle. I could switch out the sleeve from the first upcycle roulette. I don't know why I'm also getting into the history of our own stuff. Like,
It's all cross promotion.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Cross promotion. I could switch out this sleeve if it kind of is a decent fit. Is that some? And I'm not worried so much about these being sellable.
I really like those sleeves too.
Yeah, I could do both sleeves too. I also have this like striped shirt, and I'm like, is it absolutely perverse to do some different stripes?
No,
or like, I kind of like it, right? I know that's another thing. And one side of me is like, don't worry about it looking cool because you don't want to necessarily sell these. This is for the class. But I'm like, but if it can be cute, if I can sell it, why not? I think that would just about fit. I think I might switch out or substitute, one could say, the sleeves. Let's see, make sure to the right direction. So that could be one right there. I might go ahead and either crop this, or maybe I'll do like an asymmetrical crop where I crop, like have the, the placket go in here and then crop one side or something. With that, for some reason, I'm always like, I kind of get stuck when I'm like, okay, should I take the crop all the way to the other side? And then it's like, then that's coming down and that's like a flap. Or should I have it cropped to the center back? Because then I have to deal with a, in the middle of fabric doing 90-degree angle. And like, if I decide to clean finish that, I don't know why I'm immediately like, oh, nightmare, mitered edge. But,
no, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I avoid those as much.
I know. And I'm just like,
even if the idea is cool, I'm like,
mitered edge, but no. I was wondering, because I have a Pinterest board I've created with various ideas, and then I'll have the examples. And then I was gonna give them some like sketch time. I don't know. I'm taking all this project right away. I'm like, I'm gonna give you like 10 minutes of sketch time, and I might say who knows how to sew, and then divide them into like I mean not teams, but like like okay, so like in two, yeah, or yeah, versus each other. Like the red shirts and the blue shirts, and then go at it. I'm gonna fully make everyone turn on each other. No. I thought I would be like, raise your hand if you know how to sew, and then you're kind of like two people to a machine, and so that way they can kind of be my little teacher's pet, kind of, help me. And after the sketches, I might be like, okay, what are your ideas, either from the Pinterest board or from your own ideas, and or are you gonna go organically and just sort of see what the trims are, and go from there. And then I thought I would just, I don't know. The thing is, no matter what idea I'm going to have of how it's going to go, it's going to go a different way. I understand that. I just didn't want to go in completely loosey-goosey. Yeah. And then they're like, okay, teach us how to sew. And I was like, oh, I'm a little rusty on sewing 101. Yeah. So some people will probably be like, I'm going to make a ball gown out of sleeves or something. And some will be like, I'm going to crop it. And then I'm just going to like get some glue. And I don't know. That's the thing. I was like, so when you say have some, because they were like, have some no-sew ideas ready to go. I'm like, okay. Okay, does that mean glue? Does that mean safety pins? I don't want to be like, I don't want to insult a 17-year-old. Be like, here's a glue stick, sweetie. And they're like, okay, they're like, okay, I've been accepted to Parsons, you bitch. Anyway, I just want to be prepared for anything.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. No, yeah. So I'm just going to sort of have to be prepared to a point and then be okay with improv. I'm just going to dig into this one a bit. I may not show too much of the nitty-gritty, the ironing, the sewing, but this is, in case you have a teen workshop you've got to prepare for, and this will be your guide. Right. I'll just kind of get into it and then, yeah. Well, let's see. And you can watch, actually, there is a nitty-gritty for this one. For switching out a sleeve, we have our button-up Reworks.
It was like the one.
Yeah, it was like, I think the first one. So yeah, if you want to know exactly how to switch out a sleeve, watch that.
I will link it below.
And we say that, and do we?
And
we almost never do.
I think I've done it once.
Yeah, I need to go back and put like all the the supplies you
Yeah,
need and
yeah.
all that. We always say it. Yeah, no.
Like, we're gonna do this.
Well, when is it
Our
like?
viewers are like, we know you're not.
When's it a false promise, and when is it like, well, I'm just manifesting? Like if I say it, then maybe I will
Will
do it.
happen.
But if I don't say it, I'll never do.
I know, right? I'm holding my future self accountable.
Exactly.
It's on recorded on you.
Yeah, we'll be sued for false advertising. Part of me's like, so then I have to like measure it all the way around. Sorry, I get so lazy so quickly with this. Let me grab a. I don't have a friction pen or whatever. I'm just like, sorry, I keep needing things. How annoying.
You don't have a friction pen, but do you have a cute notions pen?
I don't. That's
How do I?
yeah. I don't have. I mean, it does sound like something I would say, so I'm not like, I'm not surprised that you thought I wrote that.
I was like,
just like a cute bag.
I just love that it's a requirement. Like, it can't be
Well,
a boring
I
bag,
think
and
the
it
fact
needs
that,
to be a
well, it's
cute
not that
one.
it's a requirement. It's like to take the class, you have to buy this kit that, that way you don't show up with like literally nothing. It's like, okay, this has like pins and da-da-da. That all comes in. So you have to buy the kit to take the class, but this is what is included in that,
Got it.
that mandatory thing.
You purchase the tote or
The bag, the whole kit,
and
then
it comes in, and so they end up getting a cute.
Yeah, that's just
that makes so much.
No, those aren't requirements. Like if it's not cute, then we're gonna behead you in the town square if your notions bag isn't cute enough. Out of laziness, I wanted to sort of crop the whole thing, but I think I'm gonna try the asymmetrical crop. So I'm gonna do a little tailor's chalk, and I'm eyeballing it rather than really, trying it on. What I normally do, I was like, I think I'm just gonna eyeball it because this is more just to hold it up in front of people and be like, this is a possibility. I guess I'm like, do I want to go in the back and like find the exact middle spot? And then, because I'm going to do a half crop and then this whole half side will remain. And then I'm like, do I have to figure out the mitered edge? Or do I do like a curve? I'm putting too much thought into this. I'll probably just do like I'll probably just serge it. That way it's not raw. Okay. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna eyeball it because worst case I fuck up and then we can just crop the whole thing and delete this entire section, and so I don't look like a fool. I'll just be like, well, guys, I cropped it and nothing happened, and don't worry about it. I'm just gonna dig in. I need to just relax. But what happens is sometimes when I'm like, just relax, it's like, oh, whoops, there was a ball gown underneath it, and
You're like, I knew I shouldn't have relaxed.
I shouldn't have relaxed. It's like, that's what all of life has taught me. Like, you can't relax, babe. Never.
Bad things happen.
Bad things happen when you relax. That is the preamble to the. Well, I was gonna like it's the preamble to the Neurotics Manifesto.
Yeah.
It's like you can never relax. Life has taught us that.
Otherwise,
bad things happen.
Things will bad happen.
Things will bad happen. Something's bad wrong. Sorry, that's James and I. We have a lot of bits, but one of them is like, I don't know where we heard it at this point, but we were like, when something, just in a country voice would be like, something's bad wrong. I don't know. It's a thing we do, and yep, it's important that you know it. What are some other ideas I wanted to touch upon? I wanted to maybe do something with cutouts, because I was trying to think of easier non-sewing sort of things, or easy to handle with like a sewing machine or a whatever. Yeah, finishing by hand. Okay. Oh yeah, another thing I could do. Okay. I could take the baby shirt and do a montage appliqué. A lot of, I'd say 10% of our show is just like, what's the word we should call this thing? I call this the montage appliqué, kind of a surrealist idea where you sew a bit of a shirt onto another shirt in so many words. It could be a t-shirt too, but for a button up, that's why I like to get the baby ones, because that way it's already small and I can just sort of like, I could do the entire thing, but as we will have, this will be in the upcycle roulette, I think, that aired next week, where I go into, I guess this isn't a spoiler necessarily. Yeah. I know at this point, I think it's in the mix somewhere.
Next week, I just said it posts next week, but we're in a time machine, so it posted last week. We're
future and past us somehow, I think.
All at the same time. That's why our brains are melting.
Exactly. We're in like a dystopian future show, and like, yeah, you're witnessing our brains melting because we're constantly thinking about future and past us. This is a time machine. I don't want to have to get the sleeve under the machine and have to sew this thing down. So I could either cut this off and just kind of have just the sort of torso element to it, or I could, do that. So that way I can open up this shirt and it's just easier to sew. I could do that. I also have a button up that I've already cut the sleeves off for one of the videos. Sorry, I keep referencing and I need to just it was a previous video we've talked about before in this. So I could take this and maybe crop it, or maybe almost just cut a bib. That might be easier because I don't want to do something that's so complicated that if a kid does want to do it, they're like, why'd you show us the example?
Right.
If it's a few too many steps and now you don't want to do
that, you're like,
yeah, well, you can't. That's too advanced. So I might, just kind of make a bib. So that way it's just easier to sew. Mm-hmm. I'll probably remove this tag. If it were Comme des Garçons or something, I would maybe leave that. That's oh, cute. But it's Worthington. Is that Kohl's or something like that? Yeah. Someone's screaming. They're obviously it's JCPenney. I don't know, or Dillard's or something. And I might just, I don't know. I'm not really doing it. I'm just measuring on top of other things, and it's all chunky and it's fine. Okay. I think I'll like to keep just a little bit of the back as a back dicky, if that makes sense. So that I just want to see the black, this back neck thing. Mm-hmm. I could cut it out, and that way it's just the collar. These are all just preferences. I don't know if one wanted to do this exact rework. Okay, let's see. I'm trying not to be too caught up in being perfect. Okay. I keep saying that. God, I'm keeping I'm gonna relax any second now. Or else.
Our audience is still waiting for us.
Yeah, what, you still haven't relaxed for one single minute, sweetie. So, waiting. Not gonna hold my breath.
You're just tapping their feet, looking at their watches.
Yeah, arms are crossed. Tapping that foot. Sorry, I'm gonna.
You're good.
Yeah. You're nope, that's your best angle, actually. So just stay right there. You're doing great. Don't change a thing. Let's see. I think I could just see if I can just include the back yoke. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Okay, so I'm going to cut off right at the yoke area back here. I might trim it down some more, depending on how bulky it looks. I have cut the montage applique. It kind of looks like a tuxedo or something. There's something, I don't know. It's one of those things that might be dumb, but I like it. I don't know. It brings me joy for some reason, having a little double take, what? There's a collar on the back of the shirt. Sorry, again, I always act like I know I'm the most avant-garde designer that's ever lived. If you can wrap your minds around. Yeah, the collar on the back of a shirt. It's crazy. I will probably turn this under, or I could leave it raw, of course. But I'll probably turn this under all the way around, pin it, and stitch it down. And I'll make sure the placket's buttoned. And as far as the collar, I'll probably kind of do the outline of it and do a couple extra stitches just to kind of get everything, because to a point, I want a little bit of movement texture, but I also want to make sure it's not flopping open. So, yeah, I think that'll be it. And I might do some other elements on this, but that will be one of them. I haven't even addressed my haircut to America and beyond. I know that the switchboard's going to lighten up with comments anyway. I don't want it to be like Felicity. Do you remember that? I never watched the show, but I was very aware of she got a haircut and it just America rioted in the streets and her career was halted for 20 years. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want that. So don't do that. Praise me, reward me for making a bold move. Okay. Here is the midway point. Things are pinned. I'm going to go to the machine, do a bit of sewing, maybe serging here, and then I will show you how they end up. Nothing, nothing. Did she do anything? No, looks the same. I'm scared. Oh, wait, here it is. Cute. So I just stitched her on the edge and a little bit on the collar. And I went ahead and stitched down the placket too, just so it doesn't go in buttons. I don't know. So this is, one of it's done. I might still do something on the front. Maybe one of those round modern pockets that I've seen a certain someone do a video about on YouTube. So let me try on the other one. That's cute.
I like it.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I could button those, but you get the idea. Yeah, so I just serged the edge. And it didn't turn out too puckery or weird on the back, but yeah, so yeah, the sleeves fit perfectly. I like the different stripes. So I feel like I have to do a wrap up thing. Well, let me take these off. I'll hold them up both on hangers so we can yeah. I don't know, experience them both in tandem. Here they are in all their glory. I think they turned out really cute. I'm glad I was able to make a version of a shirt or two that like will work for the class, but I can also maybe sell it. I'll probably still do a few more things on this one, work up maybe 3 or 4 more shirts, but it's a good start. So going a good thing. I kept thinking I was going to do the stripe on stripe at some point, but I was like, I don't know, is it too crazy? Here they are in all their glory.
Will you scoot forward? You're actually like exiting into the darkness.
Okay.
It's good like up here.
Okay, weird. Okay.
Yeah. The light just disappears.
Okay. I'm not like a hag. Okay. We can't have that. Oh yeah, should I just say go on a good thing and should I leave? I mean, sure. Which they're workarounds, but just to be easy. Okay. So we got oh sorry. So when I went in, yeah. Sorry, I'm just going off the rails here. Okay. I'm better on the page. give me a script. Okay. One minute I'm like, oh, I want to do one of these like real mushroom thingies, and then I'm like, where does that look stupid?
No, it's true.
It's like, I mean, anyway, like any haircut, especially new one, it's like, I'm like, this is a reference, and in that picture, they're wearing it and it's cute, but if it's on me, somehow I look like stupid. Anyway. No. I guess that's just called being a person with expectations and things. Okay. There'll be some light sewing instruction. Oh my good God. Okay.